We are excited today to talk about new technology. The world of hearing aids changes fairly regularly, and when new products come out, we get excited about it.
Yeah.
I was recently at a launch event.
Not just any launch event.
No.
He went to the venue of venues. The place that is so, I mean, when you're driving on the freeway through Las Vegas and you see this large, huge mini Earth.
Have you seen it at night when they do the moon?
It's an eyeball, and then it's a moon, and then it's a baseball.
Smiley face.
And then it's basketball, because there's basketball games happening, and it does so many cool, you were in the Sphere.
They launched this new hearing aid in the Sphere. When I say they, the hearing aid company Phonak hosted a launch event for their newest product, and I've never been to a launch event in a venue quite like the Sphere before.
Let me guess, it was the product called Sphere?
You know, the funny thing is, the product actually has the name Sphere in it. They launched it at the Sphere. There were jokes being made that, hey, maybe the next hearing aid should be like the Buckingham Palace. And maybe that's where we should have our next launch event.
But this device has the name Sphere in it.
Sphere is
So what's its proper name? Its formal, proper, middle name. I want its full name, its legal name.
Let me tell you about it, and then I can answer questions about it if you have questions, because it's...
I have questions.
It's kind of interesting. What Phonak did is they've been working on a new line of hearing aid.
And let's just back up. Phonak is a hearing aid company that is like very few. Let's say there's 30 great hearing aid companies out there, and in the top 3, maybe even in the top 2 in the world standings, definitely in the top 3, Phonak is a massive hearing aid company. So when Phonak speaks, we listen.
We call them a hearing aid giant. I think in terms of total sales, they're #1 in the world. So I mean, we're talking a big company.
This is a really good company. So when they have some research and development come out, and they rent out the Sphere, and they're going to launch a new product, we listen.
We get
we're excited about it.
So their new line of products is called the Infinio.
Ooh.
This is their new line. Their previous line was called the Lumity, which we really liked. Loved the Lumity.
Yep.
The new product is the Infinio. So they've been working on this line. They've got a line of hearing aids that's the Infinio line. Parallel to this, they've been working on something kind of this top secret project.
Okay.
And the top secret project
top secret.
that was going on in parallel with the Infinio is called the Sphere. And it's artificial intelligence. This is the AI chip. They've been working on artificial intelligence to solve the problem of hearing and background noise for about 6 years.
I was just going to ask you, because here I am in the Sphere myself, months previous. My wife surprises me with this ultimate birthday surprise. We go down and listen to my favorite band, U2. So U2, the rock band, is performing in the Sphere. And when you get in the Sphere, you feel like you are completely shut out. Like there is no sound of anything. Like Vegas is hustle and bustle, and there's a lot going on, and there's shows, and there's lots of things happening on the Strip. It's right off the Strip. But when you're in the Sphere, you're like in your own little world, and it's quite an experience. And so I was thinking, can you imagine if you and I were talking and we had a Sphere around us, and no one, like we couldn't hear hardly anything else, but it was just us? Like, what a cool hearing aid.
It's cool.
I mean,
just the visual of being able to shut off the outside world.
Does it do any of these things that I'm talking about?
So we still need to explore this, right? Okay. I mean, we love what the manufacturer's telling us. We're in the process of testing it out. In fact, we have one set of these hearing aids that is being used right now. We're testing it right now.
Like
it's not even in my hands.
Have it. I know.
But we're testing it out. So in parallel to this Infinio, they've been working on this Sphere line. The Sphere chip, it's a microchip that's totally devoted to artificial intelligence. Just to back up on this, artificial intelligence is a buzzword. It's out there.
Pretty much.
We hear about it, computers, search engines. I mean, it's out there. In the world of hearing aids, the idea is that instead of using directional microphones in background noise, which is what hearing aids have used for a long time, probably 2 decades.
Easily. Yeah.
The idea is traditionally, hey, when you get in a noisy place, the hearing aid's going to go into this beam setting. It's only going to amplify where you're looking, and that way you're not amplifying some of the other noise that you don't want to hear. And if I'm looking at you in the restaurant, it's going to be picking up your voice and enhancing it, but it's not going to be amplifying and enhancing the sounds to my sides and behind me. They've done that for years, and it is effective. It gives you a boost of maybe a couple of decibels above the background noise. The idea with artificial intelligence is that you can program a hearing aid smart enough to not just go into a directional setting, but to detect the noise and literally denoise or subtract it out of the signal. Just mute it, eliminate it, noise cancel it. And you've got to have a hearing aid smart enough to recognize noises. So this new Sphere chip has been programmed with over 2 million different noise samples, and it can literally just eliminate it out of the signal, not directional microphones. There was an article published in the magazine Nature last year in 2023 that was touting this technology. It was saying, hey, AI is the future of hearing aids. You can literally subtract noise out of the signal. The problem was it took so much power that it had to be run by a computer. So if you were to put it in a hearing aid, you'd have to literally carry a laptop around with a cord attached to your hearing aids. And at this event, Phonak said, we even toyed with the idea of a backpack holding the computer attached Bluetooth to the hearing aids to be able to do this. But they were able to overcome some of these power consumption issues. What they did was they took the Infinio chip and then they added the Sphere chip to it. So you've got a dual chip hearing aid.
Whoa.
This is the first hearing aid ever to employ 2 chips. The Infinio chip is the hearing aid. The Sphere chip is just AI, solely dedicated to that. Usually the hearing aid will run off the Infinio chip, but when you get into noise, it kicks it over to the Sphere chip. And then the AI is going to eliminate and denoise the background.
So did they solve the battery issue?
So, kind of, because the product itself is big.
It's a rechargeable device.
It's rechargeable, but it's big because the battery in it's pretty big. And so if there's a couple of drawbacks to this thing, the first is the size. I took it home and I showed my kids and I compared it to another hearing aid. I said, which one would you rather wear? And every single one of them pointed to the little one because the new Sphere is a big boy. It's a big hearing aid. But then I did this with my kids. I actually put them on them. We made a bunch of noise. I said, which one sounds better?
Nice.
And every single one of them said, oh, this one sounds way better. So that Sphere chip, it's doing something. It's denoising.
It's pretty exciting.
We're excited. Of course, we got to test it.
Yeah.
We want to do a little research with it.
And to speak to this idea of, not having enough product here, we did place an order so that they are coming. We don't have them yet, but they are coming. Hopefully they're not on back order or something, but we're hoping to get our hands on them, stick them on patients maybe different than our kids, and get them on patients, people that have actual hearing loss and have actual needs in background noise.
Yeah, it'll be fun to try.
Yeah. And thank goodness they don't have to wear a backpack when they go to
it's a little bit big, but it's not a backpack.
Yeah. So that's kind of exciting.
So just to be clear,
really
hopefully this makes sense. There's a whole line of hearing aids called the Infinio that are good new hearing aids. It's a new chip, it's a new product. It's got better Bluetooth connectivity. It's got a rechargeable custom model. So you can get a custom hearing aid all in your ear.
Just to be clear, the custom rechargeable devices that we've seen in the past have not been appropriate at all. They are like the ugliest, largest.
They stick way out.
People, we get excited about it, then we make them for a patient and they say, I can't wear that thing. And so we have to literally send it back. So this has been a train wreck in the past. So we're way excited to see how is Phonak making their rechargeable custom device. So I'm excited about that too.
The ones that I've seen are nice. They're smaller, they fit deep in. So the ones I've seen so far look good, but I haven't put one on an actual patient. These are demos and things the manufacturer's showing me. But there's this whole Infinio line that's cool. If you add the Sphere chip, that's kind of like an add-on. You can get an Infinio,
which really is a normal size device.
Small.
The device that fits behind the ear is not very big at all. It's a very appropriate size. It's when we add the dual chip, the Sphere chip.
If you go Infinio Sphere, now we're talking
a little bit bigger
AI. Now we're talking bigger. Now we're
more
talking
impressive. More impressive in the group settings.
Higher price. You know, I think there's a niche for this for people that want the very premier stuff, the very latest. This is it.
Well, and we'll see. We gotta put it on people.
We gotta try it.
Yeah.
But the other hearing aids that are out there that are much less expensive, there's still some really excellent hearing aids that are not necessarily way up at that premium price that we still really love. So anyway.
We have so many tests to run on the Infinio line, plus the Infinio Sphere line. We haven't done really or measurements on it yet. We're really basing so much of our excitement based on the company Phonak
and
teaching us. And just being in the sphere is exciting.
It got me excited.
So it's a little emotional right now. We're now going to see how does the product really truly perform. So
yeah. Do you have any other questions about
I do.
it?
You got to wear it yourself. You said you put it on the kids.
Yes.
You wore it around the weekend. You went
did.
to a place where you bowl and there's arcade, and you also wore it in your house. Like,
oh yeah.
You had a good experience?
I live in St. George, Utah. I took it to Laser Mania.
Ooh.
You ever been to Laser Mania?
Yes.
It's a noisy arcade.
And kids.
We're talking alarms, bells, sirens, kids. It's like if you have normal hearing, you're struggling in Laser Mania. I took it to Laser Mania, took my kids to the arcade, wore it the whole time. And what I also did, I took another hearing aid from a different manufacturer, programmed it to the same levels, and used them side by side.
Side by side. Awesome.
The Sphere was awesome in the arcade. I mean, night and day difference. It was really pretty amazing.
Because they're saying that with this AI technology, the Sphere part, this extra portion, like putting on the turbo booster here, they're saying that it almost performs twice as good, which is kind of like saying there's 50% less noise than a normal hearing device.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dramatic.
And yeah.
And you felt it though.
I felt it. Now I have normal hearing. So it was kind of tricky for me because I'd have it in and I would honestly feel like it sounds kind of normal. Mm-hmm. And I'd take it out and be like, is it even doing anything?
Mm. So that's the question.
I put the other ones in and I'd be like, oh, okay, I can't really handle this in here. So is it really doing what it's saying it's doing? Is it doing nothing? Mm. We need to try it. But it was impressive to me. I took it to the go-karts at Fiesta Fun. Those go-karts are loud. I don't know if you've been in that track.
Well, there's wind. There's
wind, the motors, I mean, it's loud, and I'm putting them in and thinking, it sounds really good. I streamed music. I was watching the Olympics. I might have been in a go-kart watching the gold medal basketball game.
Oh, uh-oh.
And I was listening, and I was hearing the announcers really well. I mean, it was pretty impressive, the streaming that it was doing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I took it to a restaurant. We took it to Sakura.
I'm just going to guess you didn't win the go-kart race.
No. I was going slow and steady, watching Steph Curry
You're
hit
in the
threes.
slow lane.
Yeah.
And why is Dad still in the turn lane?
I was cheering. I was so excited. Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, but no, the noise. I took it to the noisiest places I could think of to try to test this thing out, and I was impressed.
Yeah.
So,
well, we need help. We need the patience to try this out. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. It is fun. It is fun.
It's fun. Anytime you get new technology, it's so fun. So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Any other questions about it? I mean, that's the line. Infinio, they've got customs. The Bluetooth is amazing.
Yeah. You know, one thing that we have liked about Phonak is they make a really good ear mold, like a custom earpiece for their really high-end, really nice products. And they are going to continue to do that with this new Infinio line. So I'm excited about that. The old wire receivers that they've been known for that are so thin and skinny, they look great. They will continue to do that. They have a little different adapter of how it connects into the device. Mm-hmm. So we have to start over with new kits. Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot, Phonak. But if they perform better,
it's worth it.
It's worth it to say, hey, maybe it's time we have a shift. And it's out with the old, in with the new type of thing. Let's let go of the old. So.
And the other thing I'd say too is the majority of the fittings we do are what we call open fit, which means we put a little hearing aid behind the ear, we run a little wire, and the tip that goes in the ear is very small.
Keep the ear canal open.
Open. We don't want to plug it. It's an open fit, much more natural feeling.
Oh yeah, and sounding.
The benefits of this AI stuff work best when you plug the ear a little bit. So it'll be interesting to test too in our open fittings just how much benefit you get in some of the noisy places.
Enough noticeable benefit, yeah.
If your ear canal's not plugged, your natural hearing's going to pick up so much of the noise that the hearing aid can't cancel it. It can't subtract it. And so that's one thing to consider too, is that these artificial intelligence devices are going to work best with a more plugged, a more occluded fitting.
Yeah. And the majority of the people we fit need an open fit. So, yeah, but we're excited to see if there is, I mean, even if there's a 2 to 3 decibel improvement in background noise with open fits, that's almost like saying a 15 to 30% benefit of speech understanding over the noise that's in the room. I mean, that's still, if it does what they're touting it. I mean, I'm excited. We're always a little skeptical, but because it was in the Sphere, Because it's called the Sphere. Because there's a dual chip. We haven't seen that.
And that's never happened, and my experience was really good, so we're excited about it.
The current company that makes rechargeable customs, they do make them, and they're available in very limited colors, and they just stick out. Like they're not recessed. If they just could make them 3 millimeters in, it's like, how can they not solve that? But I have no patience in them, and I'm kind of not willing to I just don't. I steer people away because it's like I've had such a bad experience.
That's why I think these are worth trying because they have a color palette.
Yep.
So all the normal custom colors. And
the fact that you can already tell
I can tell it's smaller. The charger's easier. It comes in their whole lineup, so 90, 70, 50, 30. You can also put the Sphere chip in the top two. So you can do a custom Sphere.
Oh, now that's interesting.
And you
that might solve the big boy problem. It has all the same features, you think?
Yeah, 90, 70 custom Spheres. They also have it in like the 30, 50 in just the Infinio line. So you can do lower end custom rechargeables.
Customs. That's also nice.
That's kind of a good thing.
Really, really good.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about the Infinio. Its new line. Is there anything that you think is more robust or better than the Lumity line? Just with the Infinio, was it hard to tell?
And I asked them that, and they said, "Well, it's a whole new chip." I mean, it's not like it's just an altered version.
100 times faster?
Yeah, they say it's faster
dramatic,
processing.
So faster.
But their big push was the Sphere. But they did say, yes, it's faster processing. It's got more robust Bluetooth. The thing that they touted about it is they said that in the world of hearing aids, the quality control has never been quite as good as it should have been. So they had a guy talking about, he came from biomedical equipment, heart things, and he was saying, hey, when we're dealing with heart products, they have to go through the most rigorous quality control because this is life and death. If this doesn't work on a person's heart, they're going to die. Hearing aids is a biomedical device, but it's always been a little more rushed to market. It's never quite undergone the same quality control. He said, with this product, we really tested it harder than anything's ever been tested. Because we want when patients put it on for it to work, to not be glitchy, to not have Bluetooth problems, to not have this problem or that. So the Infinio, they're saying it's really, really robust, and they're really proud of the quality control they put it through.
Any changes that you saw with, like, they said we're going to be able to do custom ear molds or even the wire system's different. Is there a change of hardware, like the filters are different on the custom, or the receivers, are the little filters different?
Filters look the same.
Okay, and then also, like, when you program the device, we've had a little bit of an issue at times with the way Phonak kind of clips out, or it just chunks out quite a large portion of the gain we think the patient should be receiving. When you program the device, is the software the same and it looks kind of similar to what you're used to seeing, or did they fix some of that?
It's an updated version of the software. It's Phonak 10.0.
Okay.
But the one time I programmed it, it looked the same. But it also didn't chunk out the high frequencies like it sometimes does. So I don't know if it's better. But we'll have to see as we try it on multiple ears and open fits and things like that. But
so you can tell that we have some patterns with these companies. We're looking for certain benchmark criteria to help us understand how would this work on a real patient just based on our ears. And we're pretty sensitive to things, and the fact that Dr. Whitaker is already this excited, it's going to be. I hope to have it on my ears. I'm going to have to. Well, I don't want to wrestle with Dr. Barrett.
Wrestle it from Dr. Barrett.
He's like a collegiate wrestler, but I do want to get my hands on him, and play around with it and the software and. Like Dr. Whitaker here has been able to.
And we've already got a line of patients wanting to try it. I think we've got 4 or 5 in line that want to try this thing.
We've got a fitting coming up, and it's just exciting when a new technology launches. We have we'll tell you more when we have another product that's coming in about a month, or just less than a month, actually, that we'll have our hands on from another major manufacturer, and we'll talk about that later.
It'll be interesting to see if they're doing AI. I really think this deep neural network AI denoising stuff is going to be the future.
It's going to be the future.
I think that's the future of hearing aids.
And ultimately, we don't care what they call it. We don't care how fancy the name is. We don't even care if we get invited to go to the Sphere, although it is fun.
It's fun.
What we ultimately get most excited about is when our patients do better.
That's right. Does it work?
Is it
do
functional?
people love it? So that's always the true test.
Yeah. Yeah, functional benefit is so much better than, what they perceive and hype. What is the patient really thinking? Because you're listening to the Sphere, this dual chip, this Infinio Sphere device with your normal processing, and your kids have this normal hearing.
Yeah.
But how does it perform with someone who has a breakdown in their more central systems of processing, how sounds may not be working quite right, the functional status of that patient's not quite right in the brainstem and in the brain? Well, how does this product help them, or does it help at all?
Yeah, because we don't know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
So,
and we'll have to do a part 2. Have to do a sequel.
But there's hope. There's hope, right?
There is.
And you don't have to wear a backpack.
No. And when
That's good
when a publication like Nature, which is pretty much the pinnacle of science magazines, if you publish in Nature as a scientist, your whole career is made. You publish one time in Nature, you've made the big time. And when they're publishing it in Nature, saying that this deep neural network AI stuff is the future of hearing aids, that's when I believe it. That's when I say, okay, this is where we're going.
The reason why sometimes we're a little bit skeptical is deep neural network talk has been out for about 3, maybe 4 years. So we're used to hearing about some of these things, but this dual chip, and one of them is just devoted to this AI portion. How good is the AI? How can it really know what I really want as a listener? These are all good questions that you may have. I have them. So it's going to be fun.